What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and since we got the tier 3 selector coming up, I thought it'd be a good idea to show you all how well Black Widow can perform in PvE. We all know that she's supremely good in PvP, but how good is she in PvE with 4% pierced on your cards and having 66% physical attack? Now, I'm trying out a different rotation. What I'm trying to do is I try to start with the 4 to get the proc to engage, and I try to hit the 5th skill when there's 2 seconds left on the proc, and then whenever the helicopter drops, then go into either my tier 3 or go into the 4th skill. And I do that because I tried it. You want all that electricity that's falling down from the end of the 5th skill to tie in with the tier 3 or with the 4th skill. You're trying to get that residual damage from the 5th skill all together. And the thing about Black Widow is her skills are very long and you can't cancel them, so you almost have to let them play out pretty much through and through. And the only way to get her out of danger is really just to switch your character, which can be pretty annoying in all honesty. But this is stage 99, which is crazy. And you know, she does have max attack speed. She's got about 60% crit rate whenever I use her buffs. She has max critical damage, max ignore defense, max skill cooldown. She is rocking just 5-star physical attack Urus. All of her Urus are 5-star. All of her skills are 6. She does have a fully awakened Power of Angry Hawk set. And again, she does have a CTP of energy on her with a 200% damage proc. And she does have a mythic uniform. And this was actually pretty easy. I come in here and I did this one try, and I was able to get this done. I actually tried some other rotations, but this one here really proved to be the most effective. I was able to get the clear the fastest by doing this. But against Mephisto, I actually had to change the rotation around to actually increase her survivability. And really the damage is, it's virtually the same. It's not really a whole lot different. But the run you're going to see against Mephisto, I had a very, very solid run. I was actually really happy that I actually was able to record it. So you guys are going to get to see Black Widow pretty much destroy Mephisto, which is pretty cool. Get him, girl. And the nice thing about Black Widow is, you know, because of that long iframe on that 5th skill, the Proxima doesn't move. She just kind of sits there with a like a lump on a log and doesn't do anything. You know, whenever you're using these long iframes, they just sit there. They don't do anything. And if I was using the snow uniform, then we'd have the invincibility where she wouldn't even see us. Our survivability would be up, but the black uniform definitely has more damage, and that's why I'm using it. And this uniform does have, on the 3rd skill, it has a 35% increase of all attack and 35% crit rate that actually lasts for 15 seconds. And that is on a 7.5 second cooldown, so you pretty much can keep it up all the time. And then her 5th skill actually has a 35% increase of all attack as well. It also has ignore target dodge rate by 100% for 1 second and penetrate everything for 1 second, which is one of the reasons she's so good in PvP. And then her 4th skill has a 6-second immunity and a 2-second paralysis, which doesn't work in World Boss. But it does work here, and it actually really helps her survivability. Our proc's kind of gotten off a little bit. Come on, girl. You can do it. I mean, and her tier 3 is just a long skill. I mean, if the proc doesn't land exactly where you want it, sometimes your proc will trigger, like, you'll start the proc off, you'll start it off on the tier 3, and then it'll start again on the tier 3 because it's such a long animation. But look at that, you know, 1 minute 25 seconds left. So if you have less physical attack than me, I mean, again, I have 66% physical attack, you could get this done if you got 4% pierce. So let's move on to the next run. So this is stage 99 against Corvus, and this is pretty awesome for Black Widow because she is a speed type. And speed types don't get no damage reduction to Corvus, unlike Universal, Combat, and Blast. They actually do 50% less damage to Corvus, whereas Black Widow does not. Any speed type doesn't, which is pretty awesome. It's generally why they usually do more damage. And I do have some ignore dodge strikers up there just to make sure I got enough ignore dodge to make sure that Corvus isn't dodging our attacks, because no matter how much damage you have, if the boss is dodging your attacks, you're not doing any damage at all. And look at her, guys. She's pretty much murdering. We are using the exact same theme. Pretty sweet that Valkyrie does offer that 30% ignore dodge. And in all reality, I really don't even need as many ignore dodge strikers as I have. I have 3 ignore dodge strikers up there, which is 60% ignore dodge. Then I got ignore dodge on my CTP, which is actually 38% ignore dodge. So I actually have 130% ignore dodge. I should have put another damage to supervillain striker up there. We'd have done even more damage and done this in even faster time. So keep that in mind when you're watching this. We could have done even better than what I'm doing. I just kind of threw in my strikers. I was in a hurry. You know, I'm very busy. And I'm doing the same rotation as I did in the run against Proxima. And we will be changing against Mephisto again because I want to try to increase her survivability. Against these bosses, it's not a big deal because their force skill actually has paralysis that applies to world boss. Whereas against Mephisto, it doesn't. You know, if you're facing Null and Mephisto, it doesn't. So I find that you got to play her a little bit different to really help her survivability. And I'm telling you, with the run you're going to see, you'll see that it works out pretty well. Come on, girl. There we go. And again, I just wait for that proc to have 2 seconds left. Then I hit the fifth skill. And then whenever the helicopter drops, I hit the fourth skill. And I get all that residual damage from the fifth skill while I'm doing the fourth skill while the proc is engaged. And vice versa whenever you're doing the tier 3. Come on, buddy. We're going to run around here. Kind of bait him. Get him to shoot his crap at us. There we go. I'm going to start with the 4. Try to get that proc to trigger. And the proc trigger, we're going to wait. We can get about 2 seconds left. And we hit the fifth skill. Helicopter's going to drop. We hit the tier 3. And boom. And by the way, you know, I mean, if you cancel the 3... And you got the thing about the third skill, by the way, is, you know, it's got that attack buff, but she has to do a hit first. If you just cancel that third skill, you won't get the attack buff. So that's kind of a crux of her, because you use the third skill to actually, a lot of times they'll trigger the proc early. And what a lot of people do is they hit the 3, and then they do a hit, and they do the fifth skill, which is what I'm going to do against Mephisto. But I really find that you'll do a lot more damage, at least in these world bosses, by doing it this way. It's kind of one of those things where I play her a little bit differently depending on the boss I'm facing. Because, you know, the paralysis applies here from her fourth skill. And it's a lot easier to keep her alive because you have that CC effect. Whereas it doesn't apply against Mephisto. You know, iframes are more effective against Mephisto and even Null. So I'm going to try to be doing that more often, using more iframes. You'll see the difference. Come on. And you see that damage, guys? Look at that damage. Now we're going to hit the fifth skill. Boom, helicopter drops. Hit the tier 3. Look at that damage. It is just crazy, my friends. Crazy. And you could even hit the third skill, get a hit the fifth skill, and then use your tier 3. I mean, if you had a rage, that would be really easy to do. And in all honesty, I do think she is better with the rage, especially because of her long animations. Because you have to do a hit with a third skill to actually get the attack proc to trigger or attack buff to trigger. But there you go, stage 99 against Corvus. This only took me 1 try. Very, very easy. And again, if I would have used a little bit better strikers, we would have done even more damage. Now let's see how she does against Mephisto. So this is stage 4, Mephisto, and I'm using Winter Soldier's leadership instead of Nick Fury because we can't use Nick Fury. And with Winter Soldier's leadership, she has 45,000 physical attack, to give you an idea of how much attack she does have. And what I'm doing here is a little bit different. I actually hit the third skill, try to do a hit, and then go into the fifth skill, then go into the fourth skill. I'll hit the third skill, hit the fifth skill, and then go into the tier 3. And that way I get the buff from the third skill, get the buff from the fifth skill, and then go into the tier 3. And guys, she really does have some pretty respectful damage. Honestly, it really surprised me how strong she is and how much damage she's doing. I know stage 4 isn't really that high, but when you see how fast she does stage 4, then you're going to think to yourself, man, she can definitely go higher. And she can, guys. So like on my account, I think with a really, really good run, you can probably do stage 6, probably stage 7, which isn't bad. I mean, I am using a support, but I mean, if you have 4% pierce, you got a decent amount of physical attack on your cards. You got, 50% physical attack on your cards. She can put in work. I'm not telling you she's going to be the best tier 3 to get. I'm just showing you this video so you get an idea of how good she actually is. And you got to be careful of this attack. I mean, the one big crux about Black Widow is, man, she can die easily. She can die so easy. And you really got to have your fingers on them switchers. You know, you want to have your finger on Winter Soldier or Valkyrie so you can switch them as soon as possible. As soon as you see her in danger or whenever she's in that circle, you want to switch her, man. She can croak so easy. Now, you see me hit that 3rd skill, then the 5th skill. I mean, look at the damage. Not bad. And then I go into the 4th skill. And what I do with the 4th skill is I hit the 4th skill, I get that 6 seconds immunity, and then I hit the 2nd skill to go into that partial iframe. And that really did seem to help her survivability a lot, my friends. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, she's flying through this. Piece of cake. And another thing is, if you notice, I'm not using any movement speed strikers. Now, I do have 11% movement speed on my account, on my cards, but I'm not using any movement speed strikers because Black Widow is actually fairly fast, and we have Valkyrie, who's also extremely fast. That's another thing that's really nice about Black Widow, is she's quick. And there you saw me hit the 3. I did a hit, did the 5th skill, and then I went into the tier 3, and you saw an insane amount of damage. I mean, the girl can put out some power. It's honestly pretty impressive how good she is as far as her damage, but I'm telling you, her survivability is a bit of an issue. And if you do play with the snow uniform, your survivability will go up, but you're just not going to have as much damage. This uniform just does a lot more damage, and that's why I opted to play with this one instead of the snow one. I'm actually very surprised with how good she's doing. Now, something else to keep in mind about Black Widow is her tier 3 actually has a remove all debuff for 5 seconds. So during the tier 3, you will not get stunned when you do it like what I just did. So I did the tier 3 and I went ahead and switched to another character. And by the way, I actually have an immunity to stun obelisk on Winter Soldier to make sure I don't get stunned from Mephisto. And Winter Soldier's actually got some pretty good movement speed also. So maybe you could do a team up, you know, maybe do a lower stage where you're using Winter Soldier and Black Widow to get the clear. But look at that, 1 minute and 32 seconds left. 1 minute and 32 seconds left. So she could probably go to stage 6, stage 7, which is insane, guys. That is a pretty strong clear in my opinion. Not the strongest, but definitely good. And I do have her type enhancement at rank 4, so I am doing 50% more damage to Mephisto, and I'm actually decreasing damage by 40% also, so I wanted to throw that out there at you as well, which is also something really nice about the speed types, is that you can increase your type enhancement to do a lot more damage to Mephisto and take a lot less damage from him. So hopefully this will put some perspective on how strong Black Widow is when you have a little bit of Pierce. So let me know how y'all are feeling about Black Widow, and I do stream on Twitch at Reset Sunday through Thursday. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.